Well, today is Storytime Sunday with Dr. Lauren, and I'm coming to you live from the office here in Kingwood. We have our beautiful Christmas tree that we decorated. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Hot South Louisiana in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up? Well, I was planning on going live from the house today, but I could only get an appointment with my nail lady at 2 o'clock today by the office. So I got my nails done. Tim's not even seen them yet. Do y'all want to see? I got my Christmas nails. These are actually my tools, my butt scratching tools. So they're like a write off. Happy Sunday. Come on in. So, ready to see? Tell me what you think. Hold on. What? I got Christmassy nails. Oh my God. Tim's going to think I've lost my mind because he hates all this blingy stuff. Well, anyway, I like my tools. The horses probably don't care what they look like, but I like them. So anyway, I'm coming to you live from the office today, and this is our beautiful tree, and this is a beautiful setting that I could speak to you today about and talk with you today on Storytime Sunday. So today I'm going to talk to you. I want to talk to you all and ask you a few questions first. I want to know, how do you believe, since I'm so new at this and I really don't, I never went live before. I just need to know, thank you. I just need to know, how do you feel that my Storytime Sunday's going? Because I need some feedback. I really want to do a good job, but I want to really convey a really good message as well. Yay, Nikki! Nikki, you caught me live. Whoop, whoop. Hey, finally. Okay, y'all said I'm doing really good. Okay. Well, thank you. Doing a good job. Like them, love them. Okay, awesome. Oh, I forgot to go live on Facebook. Give me just a minute. All right, now I'm live on Facebook too. So live on YouTube, live on Facebook. I'm still getting used to this whole live on both platforms. I do have a lot more people that come in and see me on Facebook too. So we just want to all be friends, Facebook and YouTube friends. Oh, Cindy, I'm glad you learned something. Okay. Oh, Suzanne, a little book. That would be so cool. I would love to see your story time made in a little book. I enjoy your lives. You're doing a great job. Thank you. Okay. Cool. Well, hello, Facebook world. Hello, YouTube world. Today, I'm coming to you live from the office here in Kingwood. We got our Christmas tree up here in the background. I was just asking everybody how I was doing on lives, and it seems to be that I'm doing a pretty good job. I had this concept of, telling stories about horses and then telling stories about what I learned through the process of the horses. And hopefully it would inspire you. And hopefully it would make you see something a little different way. Like I said, I can show videos of me adjusting horses all the time, but I, don't get to tell you the stories behind the horses or what I've learned from the horses. So that's the part where I really want to, let's see if I can merge these two screens here. That's the part where I really want to teach you something about what I've learned from horses. Horses are great teachers. We covered that last Sunday. Horses teach us so much about ourselves. They teach us about what we can do, what we can't do. They teach us about trauma. Hi, Jen. And hi, Jennifer. So I really want horses' teachings to be carried over into Storytime Sunday. I feel like Storytime connects us all because it shows us all how have so much in common, and how we have strengths that we don't even know. And I told somebody that Storytime Sunday was about building strength and about being stronger and being more resilient. And horses teach us that. And today I've got some really great stories to tell you about things that happened this week. And, um, well, I've got a lot of horses to tell you about, but I'm going to tell you about specifically four horses in the past 2 days. I did adjust 17 horses between Friday and Saturday. Friday we did 10, and then Friday we did 10. Oh, I'm not telling the truth. Friday we did 10, and yesterday I adjusted 2 horses. So I did 12 horses in the last 2 days. And when I was thinking about what to talk about, when I was thinking about what to talk about on Storytime Sunday, I was like, what is coming up for me? And it's always about something I've gone through. And I shared with you guys on the last couple of Sundays that I'm a flood survivor, and I've survived Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Imelda. I survived. Our home did not. We sold our home to FEMA. And when we sold our home to FEMA, there was a lot that came up for me, grief and, sadness and things like that came up. And I really feel like letting go of the house was a big grief moment for me. It was a big letting go, like processing, like what's next, like the land, or where do we move, or how do we move somewhere that didn't flood. So today I'm going to start with four horses that really showed me something. Last Sunday I talked about Buckshot, which Buckshot's video has been uploaded right before this. If you guys have not seen the YouTube video of Buckshot, go check that out and check out the rooster. So today's horses are going to be 4 of them. All right, so the first story you're going to hear about is a 2-year-old stallion named Clark. Now, there's a 2-year-old stallion named Clark that I find out that I'm going to adjust, and he's never been adjusted before. Now, we all know that stallions can be quite iffy, with how they're handled. So the owner, who is a veterinarian, quickly said, he's learning. He's learning. So here's our first thing we're going to talk about. He's a 2-year-old and he's learning. And the fact that a 2-year-old stallion is a beautiful red roan 2-year-old stallion, and he is learning all the things about ground manners and how not to put his feet on mine and how not to hit his big head against mine. And he's learning to not bite, and he's mouthy. So they call it mouthy, where they want to put their mouth and then put their mouth with a bite, and then put their mouth with a harder bite. So there's 3 levels to that. There's 3 levels to his learning. Put his mouth to test and bite, and then put his mouth to bite really hard. And when he does the first little nibble on me, I say, no, you cannot nibble on me. When he does the nibble with the teeth, I say, no, you cannot nibble on me. Now, I'm making a point, and y'all have to think back on this whenever I get to the end of this video. The first time he put his mouth on me, I said no and pushed him away. The second time he put his mouth on me with the little teeth, I slap. Not super hard, but enough to startle him, and he rebounds like this. And the video will come out next week. But in the video, he's pulling his head away like I did something wrong. And the third time he did it, it requires a firm pull and a back up until he learns his lesson. So he goes back flying, back. And he quickly learned. So there's a learning lesson from a 2-year-old stallion. And the 2-year-old stallion is learning so many things that I really feel like the lesson comes from for me. I'm not okay with him putting his mouth on me. And I told him so. And that's a boundary. So today we're going to talk about boundaries, and we're going to talk about triggers and boundaries. These are huge for me. And when I tell you that there are things in this world that trigger you, and if you don't speak up for what triggers you and set that hard boundary, a horse will run over you. You will be on the news. Local chiropractor didn't learn a lesson, ends up squished or stepped on, and that's not going to be me. So this 2-year-old learned not to do that. But I also learned that this 2-year-old cannot sit still. He's all over the place, moving. And I'm telling you, the danger for a chiropractor is a horse that can't let his feet sit still. So our feet stand still and he's moving all around and working himself up. And he's a baby, he's 2, but he also needs to learn. So there was a lesson taught for me that I had to do an adjustment really quick and get out of the way, and really quick and get out of the way. So Jessica, you guys know Jessica, my handler, she is so good at being able to read the horse and telling me what to do and when to move. When I turn my back to a horse, I can't see. And she's like, get back. So a 2-year-old will teach you a lot of lessons about being quick, being thorough, and standing your ground. Stand your ground firmly with a stallion. Some chiropractors won't touch a stallion. Some chiropractors might not want to do that. It's too much for them. I have adjusted quite a few stallions, and I know that it's about your tone of your action and your hands and how firm you are and what you do. And you do have to communicate. Now, here's another boundary. You have to look at the owner and say, if he acts up or he kicks me or he bites me, what do you want me to do? And the lady on Friday says, you lay into his ass. If he bites you, if he kicks you, if he does anything, you let him have it. Now that's a boundary. What if I hadn't asked her that? And what if he did bite me? And then I haul off and, tell him no or ouch or pull hard on his halter. So that's something that our boundaries are necessary. And definitely with the horse, boundaries are something that they teach us, but we teach them right back. On to the next horse. So the 2-year-old did good. Oh, conclusion. The 2-year-old did good, but the 2-year-old did not get anything from his mid back down adjusted because he wanted to be bad with his back feet and not attempt to kick, but I call it windshield wiper. Here's the head and he just moves his butt all over the place. Well, how can I put a ladder next to a moving rear end? I can't do it. So the 2-year-old got his his jaw to his middle back adjusted. Now, the next horse for story time is an 11-year-old horse named Diggy. Now, let me take a moment. Has anybody ever had a stallion? Has anybody ever worked around a stallion? It's another stallion, so I kind of want to know if you guys have or if you haven't. If you could put a thumbs up, or has anybody over here worked with stallions before? Okay. Yes. Okay, cool. Well, so stallion, this is an 11-year-old stallion. Now, this 11-year-old stallion, I just wanted to see if y'all are still there. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Y'all worked with them. So an 11-year-old stallion is the next horse, one of the next horses that I went to work with. The 11-year-old stallion is quite experienced. He's done all the things. He does eventing, he does jumping, dressage. He's amazing. And this 11-year-old stallion, he has manners. He doesn't mean to be mean. He knows where he's putting his feet, and he's a very stable horse. He teaches me that how to be more firm, more boundary setting. So here's a simple little example. When I went to pick up his back feet, he acted as if he was going to kick. And the owner says he's not going to kick you. He doesn't trust your certainty in holding his hind legs. Wow. You talk about humbling experience. He doesn't trust me to support his hind legs. And she said, well, let me show you what you're doing that I would do better. Now, I love constructive criticism. I absolutely love to know how to be better and how to do something better. So when this horse trainer says, let me show you how to hold this leg better and how to help him. So she proceeds to show me that I have to get underneath him, his body, touching under his stifle, grabbing his back leg, clucking to lift his leg, and then get under him completely so that he feels like I have it. Well, the truth is in my mind, I kept feeling like he was going to kick me. So I was feeling a slight moment of fear. Not fear. Well, I wouldn't say fear. I was concerned. I'm not fear. Fear is not of God. But I was like hesitant to get under there. And she said, no, get under there. Like grab it. I grab the back leg. I go to lift his leg. I grab his toe. I grab his hock. I get under there. And he sits still. He doesn't offer to do anything naughty. He was more confident in me. He trusted me. He taught me that I was not being firm enough or, certain enough in that grab. Well, wow, hi everybody. Come on in, hit the thumbs up. Yeah, thank you. Give me a thumbs up. I'm new at this. I'm trying to learn to remember to say that. Give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Hey, my cousin from Kentucky. Hey, girl. Well, thumbs up and then hit that little bell so you'll know when I go on next Sunday. Well, with that being said, he was certain about it and I loved it. And I was thinking about the difference between a 2-year-old stallion and an 11-year-old stallion. Thank you for the hearts. A 2-year-old stallion versus an 11-year-old stallion is quite different. The 2-year-old is like trying to figure out his own body and where does he place his feet and I don't know where I'm at and why is this lady trying to grab at me? The 11-year-old who's been adjusted and done all of these eventings and traveled the country doing all this is saying, I don't quite trust this lady to lift my feet. um, or hit the like button. Sorry. She said, where's the thumbs up? Hit the like button underneath. You have to go back into the video and see it. Well, that was really cool to see the difference between those two. So the two horses between the 2-year-old not knowing his own body and the 11-year-old knowing his body but not feeling confident in me. So that was a quick lesson that I learned about a boundary. Like, hey, lady, I'm not going to let you lift my legs if I don't trust you or not. You know what I'm saying? So we have a different relationship. So I went there this last on Friday and I saw Diggy and I said, hey, guy, what's up? I was excited to see him. This time was quite different. I went up to the back of him and I picked up his leg with certainty and he loved that I was more certain. It was a magical moment of where here I am working with him for all this time, not wondering why and wondering why I was nervous. I spent a year of my life thinking that this stallion was going to kick me. It worried me, that I don't want to get injured and not be able to do all the things that I'm doing. So it was really cool moment with the horse trainer when she taught me that. And I spent a year. So I'm going to go back to this later when I tell you all this. I spent a year thinking in my mind that this guy was going to kick me and then learning that difference. The next horse, you guys. This is a 3-year-old quarter horse Palomino, and she is been adjusted by me once, and she was a good girl. And the second time I saw her, the owner was not there. But when the first time I saw her, hi, Beth, and the owner says, she will not let me clean out her teats. Like, I've tried everything with this mare to let me clean out her teats. Now, I try to put an accent sometimes on things in real life, so I thought I'd share my accents today. So, bear with me. So he says, she won't let me clean her teats. I don't know. I try to get in there and get in quick. I must be doing it wrong. And I said, well, how do you do it? Show me. And he goes in there like a bulldozer, like gets under the horse and like moving, and he wasn't finessing it, and this girl was probably like, why are you messing with my teats? Now, for anybody that doesn't know, horses have 2 teats. And in the middle of those 2 teats that hang down like this, there's a crevice up here in the top, and that will form some oils that will collect dirt, and it will form like it feels like a scab or like what's the lack of a better word? Anybody got a better word? Well, I don't know, not like beef jerky or anything, but it's something that'll come off. So I get in there. So he's taking these 2, he's getting in there and just doing this. Like, what mare wants that to happen, right? Like, just getting in there rough. So I was working with her, crud. Thanks, Mom, crud. So I was working with this mare, and I started working on her hind end, and he was over in the distance, and he saw me working with her, and I went to go slowly under her, and then I went up underneath between her teats, and then I slowly did like this and slowly did like this. There's a cap that gets on them like crud on the tip of them. And he looks over from the arena where they were roping, and he said, well, I'll be goddamn, you were able to get in there to her teats. I've been trying to get them teats clean for I don't know how long. Well, I felt bad for her, all that crud up in there in her teats and stuff, that toe jam. Y'all said toe jam. Someone on YouTube says toe jam. Well, my mom says crud. Well, anyway, so I feel bad for that mare running around with her teats all dirty and stuff. And I said, well, let me show you how to do it. So he comes over and I show him how to put his hand. And now this is a boundary, right? This mare is not comfortable with someone being rough with her teats. And maybe there was something that she was triggered, uh maybe she'd never been touched there, or maybe she had a foal and she was done with that. Like, I don't want no more babies, get them kids, forget them kids. So, hey, Dr. Dina. And so this she taught a boundary, right? Like, don't get all up in there in my teats and be all rough. This rancher getting all up in there, this is a boundary for sure. But showing him a different way to finesse and go in between the teats and slowly get the crud and slowly pull the caps off the nipples. And he was, so when I saw her the second time on Friday, she just let me do in there, like go in there real soft and clean it out. But I noticed that she had about 10 big chunks between her teats. Now, she has been at the trainer's for 30 days. So in all fairness, maybe she's not been with him and he didn't get to clean them. Well, either way, showed him a different way, different boundary. All right. Well, the last horse for story time, and then I'm going to go into some other fun topics. The last horse for story time is a miniature, a little miniature horse, and his name is Buster. We call him Buster Brown. And Buster Brown, he's got like that crazy hair, like comb over, flyaway hair. Some people call it Trump hair. Well, anyway, Buster is a little bitty miniature and he stands really short. Like, I have to get down on my knees. So when I saw him, I said, hey, Buster, I'm going to adjust you. And Buster was like, whoa, what are you about to do to me? So I slowly go through the process, and I'm, like I said, horses' brains work 10 times slower than human brains. We have to go slow with horses, go slow with horses. Some of the greatest cowboy trainers and people in Colorado I've met, like Martin Black and Dr. Steve Peters, and a lot of the great ones. They wrote a book called Horsemanship, and they talk about the horse needing it to be slow as well. So here's Buster. He's never been adjusted before. He's a little bitty tan guy with this wild flying blonde hair. And I started working on his hind end. So I go to his hind end and I bounce his pelvis like this, and his head's going up and down. And he's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? And he turns back and looks at me like, you can't bounce my butt like that. Like, you can't do that. And horror stories, I'll have to come back to that. Somebody said, love the horror stories. Well, I'm bouncing Buster's butt. Sorry, just hit me wrong. I'm bouncing Buster's butt, and he starts to feel like he doesn't want this, like, I don't know what this is. So I stopped. So then I went to his neck and I checked in with him. And then I went back and I bounced the other side. And then he looked back at me, and then he looked, and I felt like he was saying, I like this. I really like this. So started to adjust his pelvis and make sure the joint mobilized and pump his pelvis and work my way up his spine. So I start going through all the things, and I get to his right leg and I grab his back foot, and I'm all low to the ground, really short, like on my knees. I swear I needed knee pads. I needed knee pads for a miniature horse. And I grab his back little foot and realize his little hoof's like a little goat hoof. I hold it like, like a little doorknob, and I pick it up, adjust his pastern, check his fetlock, grab his toe and his hock, and I go chugga 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 like this. And I do this little moment. Oh, I think I created something on Facebook with like booming. Okay, well, anyway. So I did the little adjustment, and his stifle popped like a big pop. And he looked back at me and was like, oh, yes. Like, you could tell he was with me. He was connected with me. So speaking of connected with me, YouTubers, are y'all still connected with me? Hey, is it cold where y'all are? Is it cold over there? Well, we got to 74 yesterday, and the little Buster Brown had thick hair. Little Buster Brown has some super thick hair. And I was worried about him, 74 degrees. 74 degrees. And then the night before it was 40. I mean, how's a horse supposed to have all this fur to protect themselves, right? So Buster Brown, his name's not Buster Brown, but we called him that. But Buster the Mini got adjusted. And that video is going to come out soon. I'm going to make it into a short later on. Now, The whole point of why I'm talking about these four horses with the 2-year-old stallion, an 11-year-old stallion, a 3-year-old mare with her teats not clean, and a miniature horse named Buster is that when I work with horses, they are very good at teaching boundaries. They teach a boundary pretty quick. They like it, they don't like it. They're going to tell you, they're going to try to get away, or they're going to stay with you. They're going to connect and lean in, or they're going to have want nothing to do with it. And I do believe some horses do not want to be adjusted. And there's times that I just walk away and tell the owner, I'm sorry, I can't get adjusted. It's not about forcing a horse to get adjustment. It's about doing it together. So there's that boundary of, yes, I want this, or no, I don't want this. Or so I listen to the horses when they tell me, do they want it or do they not want it? And adjusting a horse is a dance. It's about letting them guide me in their boundaries. Some horses have extreme triggers. So here's another topic, triggers that yield to boundaries. And it's triggers that I was just at a house yesterday, and the guy said the horse has a trigger of plastic bags. A plastic bag or a blow up Christmas thing that looks like a Grinch is going to scare the horses a lot, and it triggers them. They go high headed, their ears go up, they get watchy watchy. I ain't doing that. There's a Grinch over there blowing and flapping around. I'm not going to calm down. And so these horses go high eared, high head, prancing around, moving their feet. Oh no. As soon as I see that, I'm like, no, we can't. We have to calm down. We can't get adjusted that way. So horses have triggers. Maybe some are power tools. Maybe some power tools that scares the sound. Maybe it's a miniature. When I was in Colorado training in Colorado, there was a Percheron horse draft, one of those big ones with the feathers down the back and the long flowing manes, and he was black and white. It was paint and color. He saw a little miniature horse. Here's this gigantic horse, and this little miniature horse comes, doo, 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 and he was like, whoo, whoo, freaking out because of this little miniature horse. And it scared him. They had to remove the miniature so that this giant 17-hand Percheron would calm down. So horses have triggers as well. And so when I was down yesterday, I went, and there's going to be a video. Like I say, everything I'm talking about usually is a video that'll be out the next week on YouTube. So if y'all aren't on YouTube, subscribe to me on YouTube as Animal Ranch Care. So I was down in Santa Fe, Texas yesterday, and there was a guy that told me that he went to help someone with a rescue horse. So he got a call about this rescue horse over near Austin, and he needed to load the horse on a trailer. Well, the horse wouldn't get in the trailer. They were trying to convince the horse to get in the trailer, get in the trailer, get in the trailer. And the horse was so sure that he was not going to get on this trailer that when the owner tried to do one of those old cowboy wrenching ends where they tie the lead rope around the metal bar and they pull and try to get them in. Well, as soon as they did that, he said that horse shot back 40 feet and bucked and double barrel kicked him in the chest. Kicked him in the right chest, cut his muscle, the pec muscle, collapsed his lung. Life flight came. He said they had to life flight him out of there after the kick. And he said, I think that horse, he ended up being okay. He said that the muscle was cut. He had a collapsed lung, but he healed from it. And he said to me, that horse had a trigger. And that trigger was being forced to do something that he didn't want to do. And that horse was not going to get on that trailer. But little I did not know that I didn't give the horse enough room. And he learned a lesson not to stand behind the horse that's loading in the trailer 40 feet back. So the lesson he learned, the trigger with the horse, is that you never know what a horse's trigger is. And he said, I can't knowingly help another rescue horse. And he said, that's my boundary. I just can't. I got double barrel kicked and I just can't do it. He said the rescue horse ended up getting on the trailer and everything turned out okay. They got him to where they needed to get him. But he said, I can't work with rescue horses because my boundary is that I'm hurt and now I can't get past it, that I got injured. And I talked to him about that and I said, well, it's your boundary is important, what you can do and what you can't do and what a trigger is for a horse and how horses are triggered. you just don't know. You don't know what is going to be their trigger. And so as a chiropractor, I try to stay really cognizant. I hope that's the word, Mom. Mom, is that the word? I said a word wrong last time, and my mom's an English major, and I'm just telling y'all she corrected me pretty quickly, but nicely. She's nicely to correct me. Okay, Mom. Okay. So I definitely, oh, now I forgot what I was talking. I'm just kidding. Well, I definitely learned a lot talking to him about that boundary that he has with the rescue horses. And it brought up a lot of me about what I'm willing to do, what I'm willing to adjust, and what I'm not willing to adjust. So a lot of people see me adjust horses and they say, well, do you adjust this or do you adjust that? Look, I got a hard boundary. That hard boundary is I'm not going to adjust a snake or a reptile or a bearded dragon or any of this. So all these people calling asking me to adjust these animals, I do have to decline. I do decline. I don't know if other chiropractors cognizant is correct. Okay. I have to be cognizant of my boundary that I'm not going to adjust a snake. I'm not going to adjust a bearded dragon. I'm not going to adjust an iguana. I'm just not going to do it. See, it's making me hot just talking about it. Like I can't adjust everything, but the things that I do adjust, I try to have. I work on having great boundaries and know that horses do have triggers, and we have to be very careful around them. One of the biggest things that helped me when I was learning this is going through a therapy, and I told y'all about therapy doing the other story time about therapy that helped me with codependence. And codependence is a trait where you are quite extreme. You lack self awareness. You lack self control. You self awareness, self control, self care, go extreme. Well, in those characteristics do not work well around horses. To not have self awareness, not have self control. You have to be self aware around a horse. You have to have self control and self care to know when to say yes to adjust a horse or not to adjust a horse. When I get a call, the lady says, "Can you adjust a bull?" And the bull is like 1,600 pounds. My questions are, is he halter broke? And do you have a squeeze? I mean, I already know I have life insurance. So, but I said yes to a bull, but I did it safely. I probably freaked my mom out. I did. I probably freaked my mom out. She was probably like, "What did you do now, Lauren?" You know, but I adjusted a bull. I adjusted a horse. I've adjusted horses as tall as Roman. If some of you don't know who Roman is, he's the newest draft at I'm a Survivor and Longhorn Lester's. And I've adjusted a horse Roman's size before, a little taller actually. But anything taller than 19 hands, 19.3, 19 hands 3, 19.3. Why am I saying it over and over? Sorry, 19.3. I cannot adjust. Like I can't adjust a Clydesdale. I can't adjust. There's certain things like, I've been to express Clydesdales and express Percherons in Oklahoma. I don't know if any of y'all have ever heard of them before, but Express has these big horses, the Clydesdales, and I stood next to one and I took a picture. And that's as close as I'm ever going to be able to get to one because I cannot adjust one. And I know that I can't. I know that I do the thumbs up. It makes the thumbs up. Sorry. And I know that I am never going to adjust a Clydesdale. Well, I've learned quite a lot. Back on subject because I do squirrel sometimes. I've learned a lot about horse triggers and I've learned about injury prevention. And I haven't had a horse injure me to the point that I couldn't work before, but I definitely have had my foot stepped on, which here's a tip. If your foot stepped on by a horse, lean forward, not back, if you can help it. So I had my foot stepped on and I leaned forward and I hugged the horse and then I slowly moved the horse off of me. I've had my foot stepped on. It's not their fault. They just sometimes they lose their placement and they're not doing it to be mean. I have had, what else has happened to me? I've had my foot stepped on, but it's just being self-aware. And I would say that as I got through my understanding of triggers and boundaries, it's gotten better. Well, I was going to go into a deeper dive into that, but I don't really feel like it. I don't really feel like diving into the whole, but the point of the story is that horses have taught me so much about boundaries and what what boundaries I have to have, and understanding between myself and them. Uh, I have had horses really lean into their adjustments lately and really start to get the results that I've just prayed for them. And we've been blessed, so many blessings this year, like to be called over and over to do jobs, and to be able to have work, to be able to help more horses. I really love working with horses because of the fact that they talk, they teach, they're patient, they teach us lessons. So I'm going to tell you this story about Jennifer in Jennifer doesn't mind if I say this, but Jennifer in College Station, when I was there on Friday, I was working with her 11-year-old stallion, and she said, I went to go get another horse that she had in the pasture. She said, I'm going to have you adjust this mare named Clover out in the pasture. I said, okay. Well, we went to go get Clover. There was a miniature named Buttercup. And I got down to adjust. I came in there and I looked at the miniature Buttercup, and Buttercup had this cut pattern in his hair, and I'm going to show him on the video. But she said this miniature horse has single-handedly raised and taught every one of my 4 children about horses, about how to be safe around them, how to lift their feet, how to ride them, how to fall, get back on. She said, this miniature has all of my respect for what it's taught my children about boundaries around horses and how to be safe. And, I think everybody at some point, we've been to ranches where we met people that said it takes a miniature to really teach them, and to have them have a pony, and the pony teaches them safely, because it's not so high that they'll hurt themselves when they fall off, but just enough. So, well, it's not like me to be speechless often, but I get to a point of my storytelling that I'm like, I want to answer questions, or I want someone to ask me a question about some experience that I've had, like, have I ever had in this or that happen? So if y'all have any questions for me, I can speak in a country accent, tell y'all more stories. If y'all ask me if I've ever done anything before, I can pull my Kentucky accent out and blend it with some Texas, and then the Kentuckians are just confused because I don't sound like I'm from anywhere. My mom and dad are from Kentucky, and I was raised in Kentucky as a child. And actually, my cousin is on this Facebook right now. My cousin was actually where I got my first experience at a ranch, at a farm in Kentucky. I got to sleep on a cot with her dog, a Labrador. I got to ride a horse out in her barn that was built in the early 1900s. I got to go to the outhouse and use the potty in the middle of the night. That was fun. But my cousins in Kentucky, that was my first start really that was my first time really being on a ranch. And then my mom had a horse, and then Susie Q. Frost, and I was on a horse on her back when I was 2 years old. And I've had the love for horses ever since then, and they just keep teaching me. Now a lady over here says, I love your arm sleeve. Thank you. I was going to cover my arm tattoos. Someone else asked me what all these tattoos mean. They were like, can you explain all these things? I'm getting one designed to finish this arm out. I feel like it's quite naked. It's quite bare. And this is the other one. Oh, Geneva Baker, my grandmother, built B-25 bomber planes during World War II. And this is a tattoo in honor of my grandmother, Geneva Board Baker. She always told me to do the work, and the Lord will reward you. And that's her, building bomber planes, taking a break in the wing. And this is my lion for my strength. Helps me to go on, being that I'm a 4-time flood survivor, my husband and I. I've been married 15 years this coming year. I've been with my husband for 33 years. It'll be 34 years in March. And he's probably watching me right now from home because I didn't make it home to do my live. I'm doing the live from my office. with the Christmas tree behind me. But I had a really great weekend. It was very cold, got down to about 40 degrees, and we were brr, adjusted 10 horses. And then yesterday, adjusted two. I got to see a gentleman yesterday named Dustin work with a Mustang. And tell you guys that he went up to Oklahoma to they have Mustangs that they bring in and people can buy them. They bring the Mustangs from California, Oregon, Nevada, that little junction, and everybody was lined up. He said there were Amish in line to buy, and he was there, and he wanted this mare. She's 8 years old, and he named her Emmy Lou. And Emmy Lou is 8-year-old mare. She's never been touched by human. And he was working with her. And when I went to his house, I said, "Can I meet her?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he said, "Now, you know that, I want her to be my heart horse, and I want her to love me, and I want to work with her." And I said, "Well, how long have you been working with her?" And he said, 5 weeks. And I said, "What have you accomplished in 5 weeks?" And he said, "I was able to halter her finally." I said, "Well, that's good." And I said, "What was your favorite moment of working with the Mustang?" And he said, "The first touch." That first touch of Emmy Lou, he said, was really special. And he was standing there with Emmy Lou. He had her going lunging one way and then lunging the other way. And he was working her back and forth. And then when he brought her to him, he'd ask her to let him touch. And he had his hand about this far away from her face, and she would pull away. And whenever she'd pull away, but then she'd come back to his hand, he would release the pressure. And a lot of people know that, but releasing the pressure is the reward for a horse. You teach a horse by releasing pressure. And it was really a special moment to watch him with his hand there. And he's working on trying to brush her and trying to love on her. And I really loved being around him. When we finished with the Mustang and we went back to the carport, like where I was going to leave, I could hear her neighing for him in the background and wanting him to come back. You could see her just looking everywhere for him. It was really amazing to see a Mustang. He said that he keeps her for a year, and then if he gets her vet checked after that year, the BLM gives him $1,000 towards her care. So I thought that was pretty special. I remember one time I went up to Eddyville, Kentucky, and in Eddyville, Kentucky, I was at a hotel. I was up there to see my grandfather one last time before they passed away. And I was sitting at this Holiday Inn. I think it was a Holiday Inn, Hampton Inn in Eddyville, Kentucky. And I was sitting there in the lobby eating breakfast, and there was this group of men and women with jackets on, and it said BLM. And I asked them what they were doing there. They said they were there at the distribution. They basically bring them all up there, and people come and get horses there. So it was cool to see a Mustang in person that had just come in. And I got to see that yesterday. So that was pretty amazing. And it just taught me, once again, boundaries and triggers. So it was pretty cool. Hi to hello, everyone, as Lester says from Longhorn Lester's. Hi from Southport, North Carolina. Hi, North Carolina. Love North Carolina. Prayers for North Carolina to recover from that horrible disaster. I hope people are getting everything they need. Hope everybody's recovering from that trauma. That hurricane coming so far on shore and all the flooding brings back triggers for me. Talking about triggers. And talking about triggers, when you have a trigger and you identify the trigger, then you can set a boundary. Identifying a trigger can help you to set a boundary. So one of the cool little ways that I made up about that is if you find that setting boundaries is 3 layers. The first one, this is kind of cool. Maybe people think I'm crazy, but I'm just going to say it. When you go to somebody's house, they have a fence, right? Or like say they have a fence around the outside of their property, and you go through the fence. Well, that's a first violation of a boundary. When they come to your door and they knock on the door or they go through the door, that's a second violation of boundary. And then when they come into your house uninvited, that's a third violation. So when I was doing therapy, we learned about boundary setting, and boundary setting is 3 layers. The first thing, when someone violates your boundaries and they talk like they shouldn't to you or do something they shouldn't, you say, "I don't like that. Don't do that." And if they do it again and they say something you don't like or something you don't want them to do, you say, I told you that I don't like that. If you do that again, I'm going to have to hang up on you or walk away. And then that third time when they do it, you just hang up on them or walk away. So setting boundaries, 2025. Who's in to do it? Horses are really good at setting boundaries. Horses are really good at telling us their triggers, what they like and what they don't like. You got a mare. She doesn't like a certain thing. She doesn't like a certain saddle. She doesn't like the way you touch her, the way you move with her. She's going to tell you. If you've got a gelding and that gelding doesn't like the way that that something you have or something's in your hand, he's going to tell you. So it's really, really cool. Really cool to watch horses set boundaries. And I think as humans, we should set boundaries too. So I don't know about y'all, but in 2025, I'm going to set some boundaries. I got some boundaries and I got to set some boundaries and I got to make some things happen. And horses are showing me the way. And in 2025, I have some news for everybody since we're at the end of this video, towards the end of this video. Nobody knows this. Yeah, I'm going to tell them, Mom. I have decided that I'm going to add another day to Adjust Animals, and I have decided that I'm going to lean into making YouTube videos better and more of them because I have successfully found an associate doctor to work at the office. I should do like my little happy dance over here, my little happy dance. I've been looking for 3 years to find an associate, and I think I finally found him. And I know that it was a sign from God because he went to UK, University of Kentucky, Louisville. And that's a sign. University of Kentucky, Louisville, Mom and Dad both graduated from there. That's a sign. That is a huge sign. So in the new year, I'm going to have an associate doctor. And for the first time in 15 years, Lexington. And the first time in 15 years, I'm going to have an associate doctor that I've never had before because Dr. Lauren Baker has worked alone her entire career. And if I've worked alone the entire career and successfully had worked on people Monday through Thursday and animals Friday and Saturday, and now I have help, yeah, watch. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to do it. Actions speak louder than words. So 2025 will be my 20th anniversary as a chiropractor, and I'm having a huge party. I'm not planning it, but it's going to be a huge party. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. She said, congratulations. Thank you. Well, I wish that I could take y'all live to Adjust Animals. I wish I could take y'all live to Adjust an Animal. I think I'm going to set that up. I'm going to declare that right now. We're going to go live with an animal, with a horse. And it's going to be some cool stuff happening in 2025 with boundaries and definitely going to be releasing some pressure that I've had for 15 years. Thank you so much. We have to speak up for ourselves. This was on my notes. Not knowing what you don't know. And not knowing what you don't know, releasing pressure from your own life by speaking up for yourself and your boundaries, and communicate your boundaries to your loved ones and your family and your friends the way a horse would. If a horse will tell you what they like and don't like, and a horse will tell you their boundaries, and they're quick to do so, we should be the same way. We should speak up for it. I love working on all the horses, all of the miniatures, the big horses, the small horses, all kinds of horses. I love them. One of my colleagues is actually on here. She loves adjusting horses just as much as I do. And there's going to be some really cool videos coming out. I've got 3 more videos that I haven't done yet that are going to be coming up. And y'all are going to see some really cool videos. I did leave them long. Hello. Whoever said they wanted the videos to be long and see the whole 45-minute adjustment, it was my boundary. I don't want other people to steal my ideas. But I left a couple of them long so they could try. I would adjust. Deborah says, would you adjust Roman? Roman is 19.2 and definitely would adjust Roman. But not until he's a little more settled. Like if y'all notice, Roman is a about 18 to 20-year-old draft that was from the Amish. And he startled during one of the videos where Lester threw an apple and carrots. And when he startled during that throw of the apples and the carrots, I was like, oh, okay. He's gonna calm down. He's doing good. He worked with Courtney. Good. Courtney's his farrier. The long video is going to come out soon, but let's see. Yeah. No, not too big, Jerry. Roman's not too big for me. Roman, I've adjusted his size before. I've got more guns under here than what I let on. So, being able to lift the leg is the hardest thing about a draft. You have to lift their plate-sized foot and get it like up, and then you got to swing it in, and that can take some weight. But maybe I can just have my husband come and he'd do it, and then I tell him what to do. He does have it. Roman has a sweet spirit. Well, let's see. Anything else that I was going to tell you guys about? Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'm excited about the associate doctor. Someone said they love accents. Like 19.3 is my limit. Roman is 19.2. So yes, I would adjust Roman. He's under the limit. He made it in under the limit. My husband is the office manager here at the human practice. This is the human practice that I'm at currently. And my husband works with me here at the office. And then Jessica works with me doing animals, adjusting animals, not doing. Gosh. Hey, Roman could be live. Someone says, can Roman be live? Roman could if they said yes to let me do it, but they're the client. So I just wait for them to ask me. And she said, videos, longer the better. Go for it. I think a visit with him would help him not really adjust him, but learning. Yeah, so, true. Plans for Christmas are to relax and enjoy some me time. I've been getting my nails done. I've been getting massages. I got a liquid IV done with like vitamins in it. I feel so much better. All these vitamins. I've been doing a lot of more healthier things. I will say that once the associate comes, you'll see a lot of me taking a lot more time for myself, but I have not been able to do so much of the time to myself because I work 6 days a week. And then on Sundays, I'm doing notes for the office and lives and nails and groceries and hanging out with the husband. Hey, Mom. If my mama is there, Mama, will you ask me a question and I'll listen and not judge? Can you ask me a question? I want my mama to ask me a question. Have y'all seen that thing going around? We listen, but we don't judge. My mom said she won't do it with me. Tim said he won't do it with me. And Jessica said she won't do it with me. So I don't know who's going to do it with me. Nobody's going to do we listen, but we don't judge. I don't know if y'all have heard about that. I want someone to do it. Ask me a question. My mama bought me for Christmas a porta potty that goes in the truck. It's a bucket lid. Okay, I'm saying this country. It's a bucket that you pee and poop in the truck in, and it's a lid with a bucket, and it's expandable. And you expand it, and you sit in the back of your truck, and you go pee or poo in it. And then my mom says, I asked her to ask me a question. She said, have you used the porta potty that I bought you for Christmas yet? No, Mama. I'll be more likely to open the two doors and go between them and then squat right there where the toilet paper is under the seat. Because sometimes I'm out in the country. I get really far out there. There's nowhere to go. Dr. Dina knows what I'm saying. You get an hour and a half out in the middle of nowhere and you'll find somewhere to squat real quick. Thanks for that question, Mom. You're so funny. Well, no, I've not used that. I do have plans to relax for Christmas. Have y'all do anything for Christmas? Going back to your Kentucky roots? Yeah, my Kentucky roots. Deanne knows about that. Deanne knows about that in Kentucky. You get out somewhere and there's nothing in sight. Well, you're going to see a lot more of me adjusting horses because I'm have an associate doctor coming and I'm going to be adding a day to adjust horses. I do feel like I want them to come to me. So my future, someone asked me, have we found a property? I'm thinking a big piece of land. We have a barn dough built with an overhang and people can trailer to me. That's a big goal for 2025, don't you think? Have the horses come to me instead of driving everywhere because Jessica knows that I drive everywhere. Do you know I got a brand new truck? I've driven it for 2 months and I have almost 6,000 miles on it. So I'm driving 3,000 miles a month. 3,000 miles a month. The very first animal that I ever adjusted was in college in animal chiropractic. Someone says, what was the first animal you ever adjusted? And it was a dog. I adjusted a dog. Hazard, Kentucky. I don't know where that is. Dana says, I've squatted in the woods many times. Oh, that's funny. Summer, every country girl or guy knows about pulling up a bush or blocked view just in case. Yep. Oh, that's awesome. She lives in Kentucky. I think I'm going to come to Kentucky. You want to shock some people? Hey, Dina, you want me to come to Kentucky? Come to Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee? I didn't tell my mom, but I've been looking for some acreage in Kentucky. I don't know. Maybe my Kentucky roots are trying to come out or something. I got my genealogy done last week. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I got my genealogy done last week. Come to find out, I'm German. I'm German, Irish, and my roots are Vikings. Woo! That's where I get that braid in my hair from. When I braid my hair up, I'm like half Viking. That genealogy was quite cool, man. It said that I had German, Scottish, Viking that traveled to Kentucky. Literally, it said, came to North Carolina, came to Kentucky, and it said, all my people are from Kentucky. That thing was cool. You can see more horses if they come to you. Yep, that's true. That's true, she said. Yep. Oh, man. I would come to Kentucky and buy me some land. Okay, funny story. You try to buy land down here, it's like really, really expensive. But you try to buy land in Kentucky, it's not that expensive. This lady says, I'm originally from Kentucky and I've been known to carry a coffee jar with me on the road. See? Look at my mom trying to level up from a coffee cup to a bucket. My mama bought me a bucket. Oh, you sold your farm, Kentucky girl? Well, I've got 2 minutes left. This is the 2-minute mark. If you have any questions to ask me before I jump off about what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm going to be doing next, you can ask me. I'll give you 2 minutes to ask me anything, and I'll answer it candidly. All right. Hi, Minnesota. Minnesota nice? I know about Minnesota nice. I flew to Minnesota before. Is it cold up there? Is it cold in Minnesota? Yep. I've been in practice for 20 years next year for humans and 6 years for animals. 20 years for humans. I don't look like it. I know. Shouldn't tell anybody that. My gray hair gives it away, though. I want to adjust Ringo, too, but I haven't got hired for Ringo. I would adjust Ringo, but I've never gotten hired or asked. Not yet. Wouldn't you miss Jamie if you went to Kentucky? Yes, I'd miss Jamie if I went to Kentucky. Maybe I could just have like a little 2 acres in Kentucky and I could be like my little getaway place. Kentucky, I'm in Houston, Texas. And how far is it? She says, I'm in Houston, Texas, and Kentucky is 14 hours north. So 14-hour drive to Kentucky. I'm ready for Christmas. I'm ready for Christmas to be over. It's mean, but Christmas is, Christmas is a lot of presents and a lot of things, but I don't have kids, so. Oh, you're welcome, Ellen. Yeah. No, I don't really do much for Christmas. I just relax and eat some food. But on the next story time, I hope to show y'all maybe a lot. I won't ever be able to show you a live on Sunday. If I went live on Saturday, so if you guys wanted to see me adjust a live, then I could do that, but it'd be a Friday or a Saturday live and not a Sunday live. Oh, the cooking for Christmas, that would be my husband. He makes really good food. I did the cooking for Thanksgiving, so he can do it for Christmas. You know what I mean? Thank you, Shelly. I'm trying. I'm trying. You know what? Doing and trying, two different things. I am doing lives, but I'm really working at trying to get better at lives. I like the editing portion. Oh, Jane. No, I've not. She said you just bought a house. No, I've not bought a house. We apply for our home and land on January 2nd. So we are hoping for a blessing on January 2nd to apply for land. Well, we are going to apply for land. We're thankful for all the blessings the Most High has given us. And Merry Christmas to everyone in Kentucky. And Merry Christmas to everybody in the world. I think I have one more live. Actually, you know what? I do have one more live before Christmas. So forget all that. Merry Christmas. I will talk to y'all on the 20. What day is the live on? The 22nd. I will see y'all on the 22nd for a special live. Maybe I'll dress up and be festive for you guys. We'll talk about some more horses. We'll talk about horses and connection. The last video was horses are great teachers. And then this one was horses are teachers of boundaries and triggers, and how triggers and boundaries and people can be healed through horses. So I thank y'all for watching about all the horses and learning about why chiropractic and how me being an animal chiropractor with horses has really helped me as a person, as well as, helped me to understand how to serve horses even better. And I thank y'all for being patient with me as I learn how to do Facebook and YouTube at the same time, so that I can bring these stories to y'all. Storytime Sunday is a time to just share all about horses and everything that I learned as an animal chiropractor. I didn't get here without some of the great, great people who've taught me the way. And I just saw that one of my mentors jumped on this live. And I just wanted to say publicly thank you to Dr. J. Cormack for what you've taught me as a human, as an animal chiropractor, a horse chiropractor. And I wouldn't be sitting here today. When I met you, I had adjusted 4 horses a month, and I'm now adjusting about 60 to 80 horses a month because of you, sir, showing me the way. And thank you for that. Well, with that being said, thank you all. Jen, good night. My mama, I'll talk to you later. Everybody else in the world, y'all have a great, great night with your families. And I will see y'all next Sunday for story time with Dr. Lauren, the animal chiropractor. Talk to y'all later. Bye. Bye-bye.